Hello, hello, and welcome to the Lion's Den. I am your host, Lauren Lyons, back with another recap of Secret Lives of the Mormon Wives, episode 2 and 3. I am live testing some new equipment. So if you're watching live, please let me know how does it sound because I have no idea. Um so yeah, I guess we'll, find out. For those watching, let me know how it sounds. But we got a lot of talk. We got some things to talk about today. There's some things. So come on in. You guys know before we get started, we have some house den rules that we like to go over, especially when we're talking about reality TV. You all know the drill. We just talk. We don't know these people. If we come up with new information, it's all alleged. Excuse me. So, we're here to have fun. We're here to talk based on what they present us. So, hey, that's what we do here at the Lion's Den after dark. And when you're watching, grab your favorite drink and let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, episode 3. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. These women these women be doing a lot. They be doing a lot. So we last left off where hold on, let me see something real quick. So we last left off. Okay, cool. Just testing my audio to make sure you guys can hear me. But we last left off with Taylor at Jesse and party. And at this party, we saw one of her former, I guess, partners with her bestie show up to the party. I don't remember his name, but it's really not that important. And essentially, he's coming in. And here's the thing. Like, I want to say this. Jesse was being messy. And I already said this. We already know. But that girl knew exactly what she was doing. And the fact that she left was actually crazy. But we had left off with them pretty much getting, I think his name was Connor or Chance, getting into an argument where Taylor sees that he's talking to her baby daddy. And so she goes over there. Things blow up. And I mean, it got so bad that even Chance, I think his name is Chance. If you know, let me know in the comments. I don't really remember, but I mean, it got so bad that his own girlfriend was just like, I don't want anything to do with him. And yeah, I would be concerned as well, because why would I want to be with somebody who can just talk to a woman like that? Like, you come to this party, you come to this event, and the first thing that you do is you go and you're arguing with a woman. Like, who does that? I'm sorry, but that's weird to me. Like, you're sitting here arguing with a woman over something old because y'all don't want to own the fact that y'all were a part of this sexcapade. Like, y'all were. We know it was true, and that's why. And I've said that last week. One thing about it is Taylor is not a liar. She's not a liar, and you're just mad that she exposed it and you want to, make amends or change with the story of the situation. So instead of Dakota really being in that moment and just being like shooting it down, he uses it as a way to say, hey, like, see, you're lying to me, to justify his actions, which honestly is a sign of immaturity. But eventually we get to the point where people ask him to leave because the new girlfriend just crying. The ex-girlfriend has to come and tell him to stop. Excuse me. Finally, I think Jesse asked him to leave, and she's just acting like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. That's an idiot. Why would he do that? Ma'am, Ye- She really got me. She really got me this episode because you really want to sit here and act like you didn't have a hand in this and you didn't know what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. What did you think would happen when you invited him to your party? There's no way you thought this man was just gonna show up on good vibes only. I'm sorry. So to sit here and act like it was such a disgust for him to be here is crazy because you knew what you were doing. And I need them to own that a little bit more for me. Because they're not. And acting as if they just, oh, I don't know what's going on. Y'all get me. Y'all really getting me with that for real. So eventually he's asked to leave. Again, a girlfriend crying. I keep mentioning that because it was like, baby, you're not even in it, but she just can't. She just can't. Poor girl. She just done, distraught, like this, which I would be embarrassed too. I really would be embarrassed. So girlfriend don't even leave with him. He's gone. I don't even think he checked for her. But I mean, yeah, I don't blame her. If I saw my man talking to a woman like that, I would be completely um unattracted to them because it's like, what are we doing here? So um my eyes are a little puffy. But anyway, so he finally leaves. While he's leaving, oh, while he's leaving, and this is where things get a little bit controversial for me for the episode. He's like I keep repeating, the girlfriend is crying and carrying on, and everyone, Jesse or Demi is trying to de-escalate and move it along. So while the girlfriend's crying and leaving and trying to walk away and ready to go, Demi's like, hey, you should go check on your girlfriend, the one that you came with, because she's upset and she's left because she doesn't like what's going on. You should go check on her. So his response, and what's his name? Is Connor a chance? Listen, whoever he is, his name, he goes, oh, okay, well, where's your husband? And the way that he said it, I do feel was absolutely being condescending. He was absolutely being a butthole with how he said it, like for sure. Cause she said it multiple times, and the first time she said it, she was just like, "Yeah, you over here arguing, but your girlfriend left and you ain't even checking for her." She had made that comment, then she said, "Hey, your girlfriend is gone," and he said, "Oh, okay." And where's your husband? Where's your husband? And as he's walking by, he points his finger or pushes up against Demi, and Demi goes crazy, goes upstairs, calls her husband. Mind you, her husband is in his whole entire outfit because they got a whole little little performance that they about to do in 5 minutes. And she goes, hey, he just touched me. Man stops what he's doing, goes downstairs, follows him outside, and said, don't you ever put your hands on my wife again. And they're getting loud and they're getting in each other's face. And he makes him apologize to his wife for putting his hands on Demi. And then they finally ask him to leave. He leaves. The police comes shortly after and was like, hey, there's a disturbance. Because the neighbors reported that you were making noise. Y'all, this was so ghetto. This was so ghetto. Like it was. Like, first of all, okay. I promise you I had to go back and rewind that section a couple of times because I was trying to see when did he touch her. I was really trying to see it. Like, because the way that the camera paused as if I was supposed to see something and I didn't was crazy. Like I saw his shoulder brush, but here's the thing. While when he went back and apologized, he said that he did, like, he pointed at her. Which it's still antagonistic. It is. I didn't even see that. I watched that thing. So y'all tell me, what did you guys think about that part of the party? Because I watched it so many times trying to see, and maybe the camera was too up high at an angle and he did it lower. He definitely did like sling his shoulder over. But what was very interesting about it was, and I had no choice but to really just kind of like reflect on it, is she said what it was and there were no questions asked. And I said, that is a privilege. That is a privilege that I wish black women had. I really do. Because I mean, she said it and immediately, including the friends, including everyone, believed her, and it was handled in that moment. There was no questioning, there was no, are you sure? Because I was looking like, are you sure? But the fact that like you can really see the difference was just very interesting to me. And I had to make that observation. I did. I really did. You know, and I do feel like, yeah, it was an ugly situation. I don't know how we didn't know it wasn't going to be an ugly situation because, yeah, like, what did you think was going to happen by bringing all of Taylor's biggest ops in one room? That's crazy. And then for Dakota to be like, y'all didn't even want me here anyway. I didn't really want to come. Yes, you did, because you knew the camera was gonna be here. I'm sorry. The more that I see Dakota, the more that I am convinced he likes the clout and attention. And here's why. Because later on, and I'm jumping to episode 4 here, but I feel like I need to say it to prove my point. Why is he still recording with the dads? And he know exactly what to do with that camera, what angles to get, how many takes to do, who need to move in what direction, and all this, that, and the third. And and I'm not looking at you sideways. Mind you, you're not with a girl no more. But you had to do this TikTok. Something something not adding up for me. Something is not adding up for me. And I don't know if it's a situation where Taylor, they obviously are playing games and they obviously don't necessarily bring out the best in each other. But since y'all always want to kick out people in mom talk, what about dad talk? Because he clearly got all the homies together to record a TikTok. But we'll get into that a little later because I'm jumping ahead. But I'm just saying, something a little muggy in the water. So after the party situation happens, Taylor was just like, well, I'm relieved that multiple people saw how he could be because now the husbands had got into it with him. The party gets back, to being a party after the police leaves. And so we go, you go to the next part of this night. So like we talked about last episode, Demi and Jesse decided, hey, it'd be such a good idea to, pull a joke, pull a prank on Jen and her husband, who we know her husband is an interesting character, but he was on the road for redemption, right? So we thought he was on the road of redemption. We thought that he was trying to do some things differently and be more understanding, be more supportive, not be so jealous, not have controlling tendencies. And I pose the question, has Zach really changed, or is this a situation where because he was embarrassed and called out, this is just a facade because he couldn't handle the pushback? And I said, only time will tell if this man is really changed. If he really is mean what he says, you got to put time on it, especially when it comes to his behavior. And these episodes, we really start to see Zach for who he is. So at the party, Jess and Demi decide they still want to do the prank, which let me know what you guys think. Do you think that they should did the prank given the conversation that they had with Zach? Or do you think it was all innocent and fun? I want to know your guys' thoughts on that. But we already had Demi and her husband come in the party. I think it was Demi come in the party dressed like J-Lo. and Ben Affleck, because again, Jen has convinced herself that she's related to Ben Affleck when there is no evidence whatsoever to suggest that. But she's convinced. And so, yeah, because of that, everybody knows that to be like a thing. They decided to come dressed up like that to be funny. Ha ha ha. Which I don't think is really the issue, I think it's innocent, obviously. And even the idea of wanting to do this little performance for them is innocent if we're on a good relationship, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So after all of that has happened, they decide they're still going to carry on the performance, and here's my thing. They already have voiced they don't know how this is going to go. So if you have doubts and you're questioning it, probably isn't a good idea. But anyway, they continue to do it anyway, and they come down and they do this performance. Now, did I think the performance was inappropriate on Jen? No. Watching the performance, did I think that the men and husbands wanted Jen? Absolutely not. Do I think that it would have been funnier to maybe like play with the husband than Jen, like to be funny so you know that I'm being funny? Okay. But the way that if you looked at Zach's face, that man wanted to burn that house to the ground. Like, he was pissed. He was pissed. He couldn't really even hide it, child. And so you could tell that it was really off-putting. It was weird. But here's the thing. Jen already knew they was planning on doing something already, because they had that conversation in the episode before. They did have it. So, she knew what was coming, and your husband, because you said, I don't know how he's going to feel. So if you know that, maybe we shouldn't set up our spouses like that. And it backfire in our faces. So, of course, Zach had a problem with it. And this is where we see the old Zach, or we could say old, but I think the Zach that's already been there, start to creep his way back to the surface. Like I knew it would be. It's not surprising at all. So they have a follow-up of the situation, because of course right there in a moment he's trying, he knows it's a joke, he's trying to play it cool, but obviously they get home and it's actually it's made into this bigger deal than it was, like it was in Las Vegas. So we pick up where they're at the park and they're talking about it. This is what's very interesting to me, right? Like, on one hand, I understand when it comes to boundaries with the person you're in a relationship with, you want to always be mindful and considerate of those things. And so, yes, if he's saying he does not want you to go to strip clubs or go, like do those things, I don't think that's a problem, because it really is just a matter of respect, right? But I think to make this issue to an equivalent to Las Vegas is actually crazy. Like, to me, like, especially with people that I would consider my friends, especially from his perspective. Like, your guy friends do not want your wife. Your guy friends are not those type of men, people. They're here to just have fun, make jokes. I would not take it in that way of, oh my God, you see, why are you letting them dance all over you, and like questioning her worth as a wife. And what I don't really like, and that happened in this situation, was how quick Zach is so easy to isolate Jen. That is alarming to me as a viewer. That is alarming to me. Okay, because this man sat here and said, this is why I want to pick up my family and move away to another place where we could do our own thing. Why do you want to move? Every time we get into an argument, like every time I've seen on television, you all get into an argument and you don't like something that Jen does. I don't like it. It's giving abusive behavior to me, because you want to isolate her so that she can do anything you want her to do, because you know that the show and this internet, like in the fame and her friends, encourage her to have a different opinion, encourage her to speak up, encourage her to not just do what you say. And that is alarming to me. I'm not gonna hold, like, in my opinion, it is alarming to me. So we had this conversation where he's just going, I don't know why you would have friends like that who disrespect you and they don't like you. And so Jen is just like, okay, I can talk to my friends, but why are you so upset? Like, they're your friends too. And yes, again, do I think it's wrong for your significant other to have a boundary about something? I don't think that's wrong. And if he has that boundary, I do think your friends should respect it. But one, and I think this reminds me of um the conversations that we've heard on Married to Medicine, on Potomac, where the husbands know, stay out of women's business. And I think this is a very clear example of staying out of women's business. And there's no reason why you should be this mad, this angry, going off. And this is a show. Like, just stay out of their business. Just stay. Y'all, I'm doing this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my. Oh my God. Why would a bug come in while I'm recording? Oh my God. We may have to cut the live, y'all. Because what in the world?